Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. And today we will be painting a piece that is inspired by these two paintings that we can see on my table. One of them is done on a very bright background and it's super cheerful and sunny. The other one is a little bit more dark and moody. Why I chose those two is because I want to give you guys an opportunity to choose your own backgrounds if you would like to, and choose your own colors and feel like you can be creative while painting along. For this project, we will need a canvas. My canvas is a 16 by 14 inches rectangle. You can use any paper that's kind of heavy paper. You can paint on wood. You can paint on any size. This kind of painting is very easily scalable, and you can change everything about it if you'd like. Let's talk about paints a little bit. So here I have phthalo red, bright red, deep yellow, chrome yellow, phthalo green, green oxide, peacock teal, cobalt blue, white, and black. And as for all my other supplies that you can see on the table, I have a small spray bottle that I like to use to spray my canvas to help it wake up. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I have my jar with water. I have my palette ready, my paper towels. I have my paintbrushes here. So I usually use the same set of paintbrushes to make my life easier. I have 3 brushes that are flat, and I also have 3 brushes that are round. So I name them a big flat, a medium flat, and a small flat. And I also have a big red, a medium, a big round, a medium round, and a small round. Then I have some construction paper. You can use any kind of paper you like, printer paper, scrap paper, whatever you have, and I will explain why I have that with some scissors. And I have a Sharpie. I have a fine tip Sharpie, extra fine tip Sharpie, and I have an acrylic paint marker in white. We will be using it to add all the whimsical elements at the very end. I also have this heat tool over here to help me dry in between the steps, because sometimes it's helpful. And of course, some gloves and a sponge. We will need them at the very, very end. So do not worry about that right now. We are working with acrylic paints, so make sure that you cover up your surface. And also, if you know yourself as a messy painter, make sure that you're wearing some clothes that you do not mind getting messy. And also, one of the things that I really like to have on my table is baby wipes. Baby wipes are indispensable for very quick cleanups in case something spills. Alrighty, so let's start. I will choose the brush to start with first, and this is what we're going to use. We're going to use the big flat brush. And the first step will be to put some water, just water on your canvas. So I like to spritz the spray bottle because it's a lot easier this way. If you do not have a spray bottle, all you need to do is you take your brush, you put it in your water, and you just brush your water on your canvas. So let's spread some of this water on our canvas. And here's why we're doing this. Your canvas had been sitting in storage and in a store forever. And what happens to it is that it really gets dry. And when it is so dry, it is soaking all in all the water that you put on. It doesn't care if you put water on the brush or you just put paint on it. So when you start painting a super dry canvas, it just seeps in the water and it becomes very, very hard to paint your canvas. I'm going to drop a couple more right on the frames here just to make sure. Just a little bit more. Here we go. And Here we are. So as we are working on this video, we are kind of approaching Memorial Day, and I thought it would be great to create a painting that is Memorial Day inspired, which kind of brings us to kind of Americana kind of colors, but we do not have to stick with just regular primary blue, primary red, and white. We can play with those ideas. I'm going to start working on my background, and for my background, I will start using my peacock teal right here, peacock teal. I'll use a little bit of white with that, and then I'll add a little bit of cobalt blue just to add some shading. So here's how we do this. We take the big brush, put it in a jar, squeeze off on the side a little bit. Okay, take the water out on your paper towel like this. And then we grab some of this beautiful teal, and we grab some of this white on the same brush, just like so, and we start painting the background. We start covering full background with this beautiful, beautiful color. And we add more and more paint to it as needed. Again, more teal, more white. Now here, you kind of need to decide if you want to go all the way up and down with your strokes, or if you want to go side to side with your strokes. Whatever you choose for your stroke, make sure that you are consistent with your stroke. If you start changing from here to there, it kind of messes up the background a little bit, and it's hard to know where to look, what's happening with the background for us, okay? I really like this color. It is so bright, so cheerful. I really like where this is going. I'm starting to work from the bottom up now, bringing a little bit of lighter color. So you can play with this. But we need to make sure that our whole canvas is covered. Make sure to not put your brush in the water. Just add paint. Just add paint. There is enough moisture on this canvas because we already sprayed it up a little bit. Yeah. I'm kind of running out of my teal, so I'm going to add some more. There we are. Okay, I'm going to lift it up a little bit so you guys can see what's happening here on the bottom. So I just grabbed some teal, and now I'm adding some white. We want to make sure that we cannot see any canvas shining through this. So be patient. Allow yourself some time to get through this. See, I have to go back slowly and make sure that my paint really gets into that canvas. Starting from the bottom, going up and down, up and down. That's all we're doing. Here we go. Almost there. Okay. So I still have a couple of areas that need a little bit more paint on them. Let's put this down now. And this is the point where I'm going to grab a little bit of that cobalt blue and add some more blue tones to my background. I'm going to use the same brush. I am not rinsing it. So the same brush, just as it is. I'm going to grab some cobalt blue on the tip, and then holding it upright, I'm gonna create kind of messy, not even stripes here and there, and then maybe some spots like that. And then I have some paint left on this brush, so I want to brush it off. Take it off on a paper towel, that's it. And then go back, put a lot of pressure on your brush, and push it in, and kind of blend all of this beautiful blue into your background. Okay, and check, is there any canvas showing? So you kind of have to go side to side sometimes, kind of like this, and see. So I still have some areas right in the middle, so I'm gonna keep working on that just to make sure that I have it all covered nicely. Here we are. All right. So I wonder if anyone of you, if anybody would take me up on that idea of creating your own background. I would love to know what you chose if you're making your own colors. Just a little bit more right here. Okay. And as you can see, I am not very concerned about the sides of the canvas. And it is because I will work on it. I like my sides to be black. And so this is something that we will do at the very, very end. And this is why I need the sponge over here. This is what we will use to create the sides. There is a very easy way to do that. All right. So when your background is done, we're kind of happy with that. Wipe your brush off on your paper towel. And then we're going to rinse the brush. So to rinse all the acrylics out, you kind of have to jam your brush in the jar a little bit. So it's like a gentle tap on the bottom, just to make sure you have all the water out. Here we go. Squeeze this out. All right, and this brush can rest. Our next step is to create the vase. Vases can be tricky and scary, especially for beginners, because we want them symmetrical on both sides. And this is why I have craft paper here. What we do is we just fold it in half. You can make any shape out of this. Okay. And right here, and this is a shape for the vase. This is good. If you want to have maybe a rounded shape, you can always go in and add a shape, and then just cut it out. This will make a very wide one. Okay, and then we'll open it. And we have a wide open vase. We can play with that. Or you can make a narrow one. Whatever works for you is good. So try and think about what you're going to do with that. I like to have my vases straight and upright and kind of on the narrow side. So I'm just going to go ahead and create my little cheat vase. Yeah. And while we're doing this, our canvas is drying. That's exactly what we need here. Okay. So maybe like this. I think this looks good. Okay. So I'm going to help my canvas dry a little bit, and you guys can just wait there, yeah? Okay, here we go. So I only dried the area that I need for the paper to go on so that I can create my template for my vase. And for that, I'm gonna use my small flat brush, goes in the water, squeeze the water out on a paper towel, a tiny touch of white just on the tips. And we're gonna set the vase where we want it. You can have it right in the middle. Of course, you can move it where you want it. Make sure that you have a decent amount of space on the bottom so that it's not just sitting right on the edge. And very carefully with your brush, you're gonna go and outline both sides. 1, 2, and the bottom. Here we are. Okay, so now I have my outline. I know exactly where my vase is going to be. Look at that. That was super easy, wasn't it? Let's clean this brush. Let's put this aside. Okay, so now we're gonna start filling that vase with some florals. Let's start with bigger, bolder leaves. For that, we will need our medium-size flat brush. We'll make it wet, and then we will load it with our choice of colors. So let's make some nice green leaves here. I have oxide green right here, so I'm gonna grab some of that on my brush. And then I'm gonna get some white on that same brush, just like that. And then I'm gonna decide where my first vine is gonna be, where the first leaves are going. So I'm gonna start with the stem. I'm starting at the bottom of the vase, and I'm gonna drag it up and on the curve. So my first one is gonna go right here, and then another is gonna go right here, and maybe I'll make one more, and maybe I'll have it go all the way over here just to create some movement, yeah? And then we're gonna put some leaves on. To put your leaves on, you will put the corner of this brush right where you want that leaf to be, push it into the canvas, and then drag it down a little bit and then lift, and it will make a leaf for us. Let's try and do it here. Corner, down, push, and lift, and we have a pretty leaf, yeah? We can turn the brush and use the other corner and do this again, and down and lift, and down and lift. So let's fill that with our leaves. Some of them are gonna look different from the others, and that is wonderful because we really want to have an organic look to what we're creating. We do not want it to look like a set of Lego bricks here. It needs to be nice and flowy. And I guess I'm gonna stop right here. This is where my vase is done. So for my next vine, I'm using the same green oxide. I'm gonna grab a little bit of chrome yellow and then again white to just create a little bit of a different shade on the leaf. It's the same kind of leaf, but whoops, that dropped a little, so let's fix that. It's good. And just add and keep adding and keep adding. And there. You can even make some of those leaves overlap. Again, green oxide, and now a little bit of our cobalt blue right here. And again, some white. And we're going into these. And we're gonna stop. So we have our first leaves here. All right, okay. Clean your brush. Squeeze, squeeze, okay, and then find your big round brush. The big round brush, we're gonna make long, kind of skinny, twirly leaves here. Same way, dry on a paper towel. Now we're using phthalo green. Fill up your brush the full way. Okay, and then I want you to grab some deep yellow on that same brush. And then some white. I know it's a lot of colors, right? And then we're gonna start down here at the bottom, and we're gonna drag it, and as we drag it, we're gonna twirl. Turn the brush in our fingers, like so, to create a leaf. So start here, don't push too hard, and then as you're going up, start turning, and creating interesting leaves. Maybe that left a little bit, and then come back. There. Let's grab some more paint. Okay, and let's do one coming through here. And now I want to create some leaves that are flowing out, okay? So they will not necessarily have a stem right now, and that's okay. They are overlapping what we have, so we're gonna go from here and down. Let's do this again. Twirl your brush. Let's make some darker one. To make a darker leaf, we'll start with phthalo green and grab some bright red. Okay, work it into your brush. Okay, and we're gonna create a dark one, maybe coming out of here. And just go in. Some more phthalo green, and then we're gonna go again on that same one. And maybe let's do one more flowing down this way, okay? So from up here, let's keep twirling, and there we are. Okay, let's fix this a little bit. That's good. Add some more color on this side. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, let's clean that and make the last set of leaves. We're gonna make the last set of leaves, and then in the next part, in the next episode, we'll create the roses and finish this whole thing. So let's see. We're gonna want the super tiny brush, the round brush that is super small. You put it in the water. Now let's make something that looks very different from what we have. Let's make the leaves that are maybe kind of with a purple hint to them, okay? So for that, I will use my phthalo red, and I'll take some and put some right next to it, just a little, okay? And then my cobalt blue, and I'm gonna mix them together. Mix, mix, mix. Grab some, that creates a very nice purple right here. And if you want to go lighter, much lighter, like into lavender, you can add a lot of white to it. I do not want a lot. I just want a little bit of white to make sure that it's a little bit more opaque and not a see-through color. Here we go. Okay. That's good. Twirl your brush. If your brush is super messy, just like mine, just clean it off on your paper towel. And like you kind of roll it as you go, and then fill it up. Okay, let's do this. Let's go fill in the spots. Here, one spot. Here's another spot. And the last spot, and you are simply stamping. Just stamp your leaves as you go down. boom, 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 boom. And then when we're done with this, we want it to dry. And then I'll show you how to create those gorgeous roses. I'll see you in the next one.